Okay, this is my goat trimming area, which I'm super excited to have now, this space. Previous to adding on to our little goat barn area, this was filled with hay and supplies. And so I ended up doing the trimming in this little hallway where the camera's sitting right now. And it was just really crowded and hard to move. It worked okay, but this is just so much nicer to be able to have the room to just lead them right in, up this little ramp and onto the table and get them ready. One thing I wanted to mention was I choose to do this in the morning. I'm not working today. I thought it was a good day to do it. And that way they're not going out to eat all day and graze all day and then coming in to do it when they got nice full belly. So this way, they had their hay last night, but now they haven't been out yet and they haven't had any hay. And so if I'm giving them something to eat right now, they're a little bit more excited about it. And plus I got them all stuck up in the barn here. And so it's easier to just bring one at a time in here and get the job done. So my little setup here is my little hoof trimming table. Now this is a makeshift one. Someday I'm going to get a more adjustable one. Just isn't on the top of the priority list right now because I do have this. My husband actually made this out of, it was a little workbench that he made for the boys when they were little. He made a couple of them. And this was the basic table part of it. It had a back on it with some tools and all that kind of stuff. But it seemed like it worked out really good, especially when the goats are smaller. Now they're bigger and they're different sizes. And that's where I'd like to have something more adjustable, so it'd be easier on my back. But anyways, we've got this little table here. And then there is the head space for them to put their head into. And so what you do is you bring them up, and then he just used an old shelf that we had and put some boards on it to make a little ramp here to lead them up. So they come on up, they stand here, they put their head in here. You close, it does not choke them. It's got an opening here. And then it's got a little thing that he made that hooks here, but it doesn't stay very well. And so I end up using some hay bale ties and tie around just to make sure that it doesn't open. That once again could be fixed, and we don't get around to doing it. Anyways, and then in the thing here, this has been my magic bullet, if you want to say, dried leaves. So last fall, and it's now October, so we've gone a year. Last fall, when the leaves, they love dried leaves. When they blow into the pasture in the fall, it's like great. Like this time of the year, they just love it. So last year was perfect. We had this tree that's right out by the barn here. They love the leaves from that tree especially, and it's a tree that's good for them. It's okay. And anyways, when they dried and fell, it was perfect because it was nice and dry out. So I raked them up and I saved them in these type of lawn bags, which worked out really good. It's got like the wire around the top, so they're supportive and they're huge. And I saved 2 of those full of leaves, and then I had an extra really large plastic garbage can, and I filled that up, saved that, and put in the storage area over there. And so I've been using those leaves every time I trim their hooves, or for any other special thing that I'm trying to do that I need a distraction, or just as a treat too, if I wanted to give them a treat. Like when the goats were, Fern was in infirmary over there with her cyst, I gave her some leaves, each day I gave her a little bit of leaves as a treat, because they really love it, especially when it's not in season. So I'm going to do that again. I'm hoping that the leaves are falling right now, that we're going to have some nice dry weather, and when the leaves drop and they're nice and dry, and then I can save them once again this year. And then I've got this one that I had that I was using for leaves and such that I put in here. It has a zipper on it, which is kind of broken now, but that way I can fill that one up, and then I can just keep filling the tray here while I'm trimming their hooves as we go along, because once you get started, you just kind of want to move along and get it done as quick as possible while they're patient. And most of them are pretty patient, but they got their head in there and all that. So it's just nice to get it done as quickly as possible. So that is my little ramp and table. There's the ramp Like I said, we just used an old shelf. It's all scraped up now because of their hooves. And then here's my little table. They do sell goat tables. And like I said, I think you can get adjustable ones, which would be easier on my back because they've kind of outgrown this one. And then here is the part where you put their head in. This is really a key to doing their hooves, is to have some place for them to stand. Unless you've got somebody that is going to hold the goat still while you're trimming their hooves. And then here's my little tray with the leaves. And here is all the delicious dry leaves in here. Here is this leaf bag that I saved my leaves in. Okay, then I have some other supplies on hand here. And I'll show you why I'm doing this close up. So I always have vinegar, water, and paper towel all the time because it comes in handy if you need to clean something while you're doing this. Someone gets a cut or something. I have the blood stop powder, which is just a powder that you put on if you get too close and they bleed a little bit. I've never had that happen, and I have to say I'm grateful about that, but I always have it on hand. And then I have my little handy hoof pick, and that's got a brush on it and a little pick on it, which you can use to pick out the debris and brush it off before you're cutting. And then here's my clipper, which works really good. They're really sharp. One thing I was just thinking of this morning is I want to get another one because like I said, once you get clipping, you want to keep clipping. And so if I come out here and I'm clipping and it's dull, then I would be like, oh, I wish I had another one because I've got everything set up and I'm ready to go here. So you might want to have 2 clippers on hand. I use a harness on Fern, halter on Fern, because she gets scared, and she's fine once I get her on the table and get clipping and she's eating her leaves, but she just gets scared to be led up on the table. She's just scared of new things or being led into something or something like that. So if I put the harness on her, it seems to work. I keep saying harness, the halter on her. I'm thinking about dogs, I guess, all the time. If I put the halter on her, it seems to work to lead her with that, and she feels a little bit calmer, and then I'm not pulling on her neck or anything if I was pulling on her collar. And then I've just got a little brush to brush off my table in between goats. I have these little plastic bags that have their names on them, just little baggies, because I save a sample of their hoof trimming for a DNA sample for some energy work that I do need be if they have something going on, which I will explain in a whole nother video. But so I get that right when I trim their hooves and zip it in the plastic bag and have that for when I need it. And so I think those are the things that we need to get going. Now, there is some hay in here that I can put up in there with their leaves as well. And some people just use hay, but I find the leaves like super valuable because it's something new and they get excited about it. I have this extra light in here that Bob actually put in here for me to use, and this has been super helpful because I can see their hooves much better in here. We have a light in here, but having this shine on them helps me to see them right better. I have like senior eyes, and so they're not as clear as they used to be. And if you can see the hooves better, the trimming goes much faster. That's the other thing too. And you don't want to clip into their soft pad or clip too close and have it be painful. So that has been really helpful. So that's kind of my setup. So now we're gonna see if the girls are ready to go here. And hey girls, are you ready to get your hooves trimmed? Yes. Remember what we talked about last night, good cooperation so it goes fast. Where's Angel? She's over in the corner over there. She's always on that bench. Hey Angel, who's gonna be first? All right, thank you, Oreo. Okay, Oreo wants to be first, and look at, she just hopped right on up here. Oreo's really easy to groom. I've got Fern's harness here. So first thing I'm gonna do is get her situated. They can hear me getting the leaves ready over here. And so they're all kind of stomping their feet over there. And So, because they want some leaves. I didn't know if they were going to be as excited because it's fall out right now and there's leaves falling every day. But these, they're excited about. They haven't been out yet today. I'm going to clean it off a little bit first. Now, it's been, I looked at the calendar. I usually like to do this every couple months. It's been a little bit longer. It's been 2 months and a week. So honestly, like I would have liked to have done this a couple of weeks ago, but just trying to get the fall gardens wrapped up and didn't get it done. Because what can happen is the overgrowth can curl around the pad, and then you have to kind of pull that away from the pad. But once you get it pulled away from the pad, then you're just trimming that overgrowth off. Hers actually aren't too bad. And I just kind of like to try to pull it away a little bit so I can see the pad, that I'm not getting the pad. And a lot of times they go flying, so I like to get my little sample here right away so I don't have to worry about that anymore. I'm going to get that over there. Get her bag. Okay. Now I've got her set up so I can kind of just get going here. I'm going to refill her leaves. Here you go, honey. More. Okay. The end can get a little bit pointed. Sometimes ferns tend to get pointed, and I like to trim that little tip off on the end there. You can see that. I'll just make sure you can keep seeing what I'm doing here. And that just takes, if like when Fern came to us, she had really kind of elfy type long pointed hooves. They just needed to be worked on more often, I think. And so now over the time, they've really done well. But what you want is you want them to be standing on a flat surface again. And it's important it's important to get the hooves trimmed for the sake of their walk and their gait. You know, you don't want their hips and stuff to get off. I just think about that because I'm a body worker, and I know how much all that stuff makes a difference with humans, and of course it's going to make a difference with animals as well. You can see the overgrowth on there, but it's not horrible. I mean, I've seen a lot worse, honestly. So I'm just pulling it away with the clipper on this before I clip it off. Many times you'll get little rocks and pebbles that are stuck in there. That's why it's good to have something to pick them out. You can use the edge of your knife or your clipper, but you just have to be really careful about that. Okay, so she's almost done already. And the other thing that I like to do is, while they're on the table here, is just kind of do a little body scan, and just to make sure they don't have any sores, lumps, or bumps that you're not noticing, because it's easy when they're distracted like that. Okay, girl, you ready? Let's go back by your friends. Good job, Oreo. All right, who's next? Clarabelle? Come on, honey. Come on, sweetie. Oh, wow. Clarabelle just came running in. You want leaves, don't you, girl? She just came running in here. Jumped right up on the table. Here, you're going to put them in there. There you go, girl. So they hear their little friends in here eating leaves, and they're like, I want some of that. And I'll try to give you a view. Now, Clarabelle's got these dew claws. These are like goat dew claws. Hers get kind of overgrown. And I had asked the vet if I could trim those, and she said you can trim them a little bit if they're like dry and scaly and stuff. So if they are having chunks on them that are overgrown, dry and stuff, I'll trim those up a little bit, but I'm really careful about it too. Okay, girl, let me have your hand here. So it takes her, it's just they got to get used to, you know, that I'm holding their hoof up and all that. She's got some green paint on it from the steps there, but I'm going to try to show you what hers looks like. A little bit more overgrowth there. You just want to make sure that you have the foot well supported before you start cutting so that you don't slip and cut them. Okay, girl, you ready? You get to go back with your friends. She's like, no, I want to eat some more. I want to eat some more hay. Come on, sweetie. Oh, there we go, Snickers. She was a little apprehensive today. I don't know if she got kind of weirded out by the ramp last time, I think. Oh, hers aren't too bad at all either. So, yep, not too bad at all. You can see the little bit of fold over there, but not too bad. This has a little bit more of a fold on it. On this hoof here. See how it's folded over the pad right there? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel that off or out. Even if you just get it peeled out a little bit, then you can get your cutter in there better. So I've got it peeled out, and then you can cut it better. This is what it looks like afterwards. And it's just nice and flat across where the pad and the hoof is. I'll show you a front one. Come here, honey. Snick, snick. Come here. She was a little apprehensive about going down the ramp, so I want to try to get her so she's not scared about that. There, or going up. Come on, honey. There you go. Good girl. Okay, come on. Comes Angel. Oh, come here, buddy. Come on, I got some leaves for you. Good leaves for you. All right, here comes little Angel. She just hopped right on up here. Angel is our food monger. She loves food. The grain, which they only get a tiny little bit of at night, because these are not milking goats and they don't need a lot of grain or anything, and then there's always the chance of them getting too much and getting a bloat or something, so they just get a handful at night. But we have to monitor her so she doesn't go steal everybody else's. So she'll be happy with the leaves here. Now, Angel's hooves are a little bit unique because you can see these front hooves, how they spread right there. They're spread out. Here's the one hoof and here's the other. Her back one's not so much, but her front ones are like that. The vet looked at them when she was checking her out and didn't see anything, crucial with that or anything, but it's just what she has going on there. All right, that's Angel. So now I'm going to just check her out a little bit. Angel and Fern have been the ones that have had more of the problem with the CL cyst, which I'll do a whole video on. And so I do like to make sure that I'm, you know, feeling them over pretty good and feeling their lymph nodes and stuff to make sure there's not something brewing with that. The most common place for them to get them is up in their lymph glands up here, on their face, right there, right here, under their neck, under their chest area right here. And Fern actually has had a couple in the lymph right here. So, and they pop out like all of a sudden. It's always under a stress. Okay, Angel, you ready, sweetheart? Should we go see your friends? Let's go see your friends. There we go. Oh, what a good girl, Lucy. So here's our little Lucy. I call her Little Lucy because she used to be so little and she's not little anymore. And Lucy used to be terrified of this. Lucy was, you know, scared of anything new, and she didn't want to be doing anything without her sister Clarabelle. So look at her. She just comes right in here and she gets up on the table and starts eating, and she's just good to go. She used to, like, when Clarabelle was in here, she would just be bellering out there because she wasn't in here with her and all that. So she's just come such a long ways. Okay, so we'll just take a look here and see what Lucy's hooves look like. Okay, now hers are more overgrown than Clarabelle's, so this will be a good example of the fold over of her hooves there. And that green is just from when she comes up that ramp, it scrapes off on there, the paint. So what I'm gonna do is peel this stuff back. I'll do that, show you. So if I pull this out, show you. See it when I pull that out, you can see how much is of overgrowth there, and there's a lot of junk impacted in there that we need to get out too. So once I got that big chunk cleared off, you can see in the corner of this hoof right here, that needs to be trimmed off. There was like some rocky junky matter in there, and that needs to be trimmed off. It's just like a pocket that was in there that had formed that traps things. So there's a bunch of stuff coming out of there. You want to clean that out and get that pocket trimmed off. Okay, that's that one. Her dew claws aren't too bad, so I'm going to leave them alone. All right, there's our little Lucy. Little feisty Lucy. She's a feisty girl, aren't you, Lucy? All right, girl. Oh, that went so good. That went so good, Fern. Yay. So it really helps me put this halter on her. Then she's not scared. I'm not pulling on her neck. And that just goes so much better than if I'm trying to do that without. So I wish I could have shown you in the other room. We got Oreo and Clarabelle telling Fern what to do. And then Clarabelle's buttoning her to get her to come in here because Fern's afraid. So, all right, Fernie. What a great gal. Okay, so Fern is big. Okay, it's okay, honey. Come here. We got to put that on. And really could use a bigger setup here. Yeah. Fern never makes any noise unless it's something that she's, you know, like scared of doing, then she makes the noises. But otherwise, she doesn't ever make any goat noise. She's a super quiet goat. She's probably not going to eat too much because she gets scared. And so, but as long as she's standing here good, then we're okay. Here's her hoof. And you can see how the ends are more pointed on the ends. And then those pointed ends, those pockets fill up with debris. So I'll show you this again here. then I'll trim that off, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So there was a rock stuck in the corner there. They were like really long and pointed. And it could just be her hooves, you know, are like that, but I think they had been not trimmed, you know, very often, and then you get some weird growth on there. I'll just show you how I nip the ends off there. You just want to make sure there's no pad in there, but I nip those hollow corners out, and that way she's not going to get any rock and stuff stuck in there. I'm trying to do this in a way that she's not just like going like a bullet, so that something like she doesn't fall and get hurt, and then, you know, that's a whole nother issue of her coming in here again. Oh, we got this one down here we got to get off. There we go. Okay. Okay, Fernie. All right, there you go. Good girl. All right, so that is it for the hoof trimming. Always good to get that done. I wanted to get it done again before the weather turns. You know, then we got to get used to that, and I'll have to do it during the winter, but it's so much easier to do it when it's not freezing hands. The one thing that I'll just mention is, like, for me that really helps out is like preparing everything ahead of time, like getting all my materials out and ready, getting the bench all ready, getting the leaves all ready, and make sure you have the quick stop on hand. Also, like the time of day, you know, you can find your best time of day for doing it. For me, it's in the morning when they haven't eaten yet all night and they're excited to have the leaves. And the leaves have just been like, this has just been my little ticket here with this hoof trimming, is they have the dry leaves. A lot of people will use something else, but they go through, you know, you can't give them a lot of treats, and they go through that fast. So the leaves I can just keep putting in their bowl there. And so the morning time is a great time for me. Now that's not going to work for everybody. I have to choose a morning when I'm not working and such, because it does take a while. And then just taking my time, because it is a lot of work to set everything up, and you know, the timing with it being a day I'm not working and having it in the morning, it's a lot of work. So I want to make sure I just take my time. I don't want them to get scared, and do it carefully and do a good job and get all the excess hoof off and cleaned off real good, because it does take a lot of time. And then that lets it go another couple months or 6 weeks to 2 months or whatever until the next hoof trimming. So there is my hoof trimming, and now we're going to let the girls out, and they are going to be ecstatic to get outside because it's late and they've been stuck inside. So let's go. Yay! Come on out, girls. Oh, you guys did so good. You did so good with your hoof trimming. Did you do good? Yes, Lucy, you did do good. You did do good. I know you're proud of yourself, and you too, Oreo. Fernie, you did great, honey. You did just great. Angel, hi, sweetheart. Angel wants to say bye. She came over to say bye. Say bye. Yeah, you're such a sweetie. You're such a sweetie, aren't you? Yes, you are.